front-wheel drive experience, champion in VW Cup, but this is another level, and this is the biggest race that he's ever had today. And what is going through his mind is exactly the right question. But okay, he's pulled it out of the hat really with where he's qualified for this particular race, but still, he's got a chance here. I love little words before, and I can say, you know, when you get your head down, if you need to drop back, you need to overtake the brakes, you need to get down the inside of people. You can't give up. You can't give up. When you get something like this, you can't give up. Yeah, opportunities to win these races don't come around every week or so. Yeah, seize that opportunity. Matthew, I'm sure that's what he's going to be trying to do. He then starts on the left, not the side line as Lee head towards Oulton corner. One Lewis head on the side, blue out, white, blue and orange Cooper is Bruce Wingfield, and towards the back, the green, white and black Selco liveried Hyundai of Max Hart is one we will. That's a sign for a clean first lap, which is what you like to see from a reverse grid. Wow, that nearly all ended, didn't it? That's the line on there. Can't get squeezed on the track. There's all sorts going on, and I tell you what, this is going to be a proper race. Andy Wilmot's challenging Tonks for third. We shouldn't be surprised anymore when we see this, but Andy Wilmot, I don't know what he had for breakfast this morning, but I think I'm going to try and take up the Wilmot diet because he is on a mission and he can see his opportunity for a podium, and the race lead gap is coming down as well. Bruce Winfield chasing after Lewis Kent as Chris Smiley slips up the inside of Matt Wilson. Isaac Smith will come through on the inside of the hairpin as well, and Matt Wilson just struggling here on low tyre pressures in the early stages, I think, and it looks like even Brad Hutchison will have a sniff around behind him. We need to see the race leaders though, because Bruce Winfield is asking all the right questions now of Lewis Kent, who for whatever reason just does not have the pace here today in the Veloster, and Winfield, looking for his first win of the year, remember, is not going to want to say no to this opportunity. No, definitely not. So hopefully for Lewis in the championship car from last year, well, it's not the championship car from last year, but the champ from last year, he's had that slipping clutch, but it's been fixed, so someone down the inside of Max Hart as well as the cars go through shot. But yeah, looking real fast. Oh, Kent is having a nightmare there. Winfield is on here. Winfield is on for the win. Well, Winfield, who was runner-up last year, has not so far this year been able to unlock that potential that he showed, especially in the second half of 2021. Could today be the day that we finally put a smile on his face? He's certainly challenging the lead. From a great race to a terrible race for Lewis Kent. If he loses one place here, he could lose several. Yeah, that final sector though for Kent, unless he has just got at all secured the right hand side of the bonnet has come loose and it's wobbling in the wind even more. We might get a head on shot of it now, heading down towards and Hutchison then Shepherd into 8th ahead of Matt Wilson, and Antwall Hill still hanging on to the top 10. I have just seen a move being put on Bradley Kent by Max Hart, so he's gone up another place. That was just at the first corner. Old Hall, so yeah, it's looking like he's really making his way through. Yeah, he has got that place, hasn't he? And he'll now chase after these two, Ward Niels and Lee, who are still fighting over 10th position. Into the braking zone they go. Alex Lee closing in, and Bradley Kent back on the inside of Max Hart. Look at that, into the hairpin. He locks up but does not run wide, and that almost backed Hart back into Callum Newsham. Max tries to get the overlap on the exit and can't quite do it as he comes over Hilltop down towards the Hislop chicane. Bradley Kent will have to defend to the inside. Max Hart goes to the outside line. Late on the brakes for Bradley Kent though, and he'll hang on too late on the brakes. Straight on he goes, and that in the end made Max Hart's life a lot easier. Yeah, I didn't really see much of a lock up there though. Was that some kind of mechanical problem? Well, he's very slow rejoining actually. He might just be letting the traffic go. No, that's a problem for Brad, isn't it? Yeah. We've said that a few times this year. Bradley Kent, another mechanical issue. Well spotted that, Paul. That was not just a simple mistake. Yeah, talking about mistakes, Winfield is now looking seriously quick, and he nearly made a massive mistake. Got just on his left wheel, that's why the car. On the grass. Over recent rounds. Jamie Tonks, by the way, way in third place, fastest lap. Now this has been a perfect race for Jamie because he stayed inside, he stayed in touch with the leaders, moved into third place. He only gets quicker as the race gets on. So in race 1 he was significantly faster than Winfield and Lewis Kent in the final 10 minutes. We've got 17 minutes left. Jamie Tonks is well and truly still in this conversation for a race win.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely involved, and this is really starting to concertina up, isn't it? I'd like to say Lewis is managing this from P1, but I don't think he is. This is starting to get a bit worrying now for me. If I was a Lewis Kent fan, because Winfield can smell blood and it looks very stable, his car.
Is there anything you can see from Lewis's car? I mean, we're getting our best look at it all day, really, as it's the race leading car. Is there anything you can see that might suggest why the pace isn't quite there, if there is some legacy maybe of that off in quali?
No, not really. If anything, look how fast it is. I mean, it's superbly quick. He pulls out of the Knickerbrook chicane and going through Druids, he pulls like 4 car lengths. It's only when he gets Lodge corner's not too bad for him to come through, but then the next set of corners, turn 1 and 2 on Oulton Cascade, looks like he's not how it's Winfield is P2 and P3. They're very much a quicker car through turns 1 and 2. Back on the case of him.
Yeah, that mid-corner speed for Old Hall just wasn't there. It's the same story down at Cascade. Max Hart news, by the way. He's passed Alex Lee and Dan Moore-Neals on that lap, so Hart is now into 10th place. He is some 3.5 seconds behind the next middle group, though, which is Adam Shepherd and Matt Wilson fighting over 8th position. Isaac Smith helping Chris Smiley round the hair. But these two, honestly, the amount of times I've seen them nose to tail this season, it's remarkable how evenly matched they are. Many years of experience difference between them, but Chris Smiley cannot shake off the youngster, and Isaac actually tries the inside of the Hislop chicane. That was never likely to work, but he's applying the pressure and just might force a mistake out of the Irishman.
Yeah, and that Honda, the amount of daylight I see underneath the rear axle when it turns is unbelievable. As it comes up and over Clay Hill, you'll see it, as you turn in, we said it earlier on, as it turns in for Druids, it just cocks up a rear right as it goes through. Look, the wheel is off the floor. You never usually see that in a really high speed corner. Sometimes you'll see it on the brakes on initial turning, but into the mid and the exit of the corner doing that just shows how much
going after Lewis Kent, and now he's starting to watch his mirrors more than he's looking out of the windscreen, because look how close Jamie Tonks is getting. We're into the second half of the race now. This is Tonks territory, and he's got Bruce Winfield in front of him. Remember, Bruce being run out of the area motorsport awning as well, so these two are sort of teammates. I wonder whether if Jamie is significantly quicker than Bruce, how much of a fight Bruce is going to put up with.
Yeah, but I think Bruce is a fighter, because this is critical now. 14 minutes of the race left, and if Winfield starts to back Tonks up, that's gonna bring Wilmot into the party, and I think Winfield shot his bolt, like you said before. So that now is a problem, and Tonks needs to make a decision, and he needs to make it quick, and he needs to get past him at maybe Lodge, because Wilmot's looking rapid.
Yeah, Wilmot's not being dropped. They're dropping Chris Smiley and Isaac Smith, two of the championship contenders. They're not dropping Andy Wilmot, who really is still in this fight for a podium place. It's just letting Lewis Kent off the hook ever so slightly in the race lead. He had a 7/10 of a second advantage at the start of this, the 8th lap of the race. Very sideways further back for Isaac Smith, but someone in this lead group is going to have a go, otherwise it will be follow the leader for the remaining 30 races left going on the line, and Lewis will be looking if Tonks gets past P2 Winfield, then he's got to get on it, unless Winfield just backs off, cools everything down and goes again, because Winfield for me is the fastest car on circuit and has the fastest lap. Fastest lap of the race actually now belongs to Max Hart. As you say that, he's half a second quicker than the leader, 7.8 off the lead in 10th place, but he certainly should have the pace to gain a few more positions. Just as I said that Winfield was dropping away from Lewis Kent, look how he's closed back in. So was that Bruce maybe just cooling things off, trying to calm things down, so they can have another go now over the next few laps? Because he's has really up that advantage that Lewis Kent had?
Wow, well, I'll tell you what, I know this is looking tight up front, but Max Hart with that fastest lap is 6/10 of a second quicker than anybody on circuit, and he's actually now, he's like half a second consistently quicker than anybody as they go through the laps, so he is looking pretty quick.
Yeah, he is. I'm pretty determined and fired up as well. Here's Max Hart. Lead us back through Druids. Again, this yo-yoing gap out front. Oh, Lewis, a bit too wide that time through Druids, though. That will have compromised his exit speed, but you're right. The run up the hill, that Veloster is very slippery, isn't it? It's a very aerodynamic car. And I think it's good in a straight line. The problem is he's had a bad exit. No, it looks like he's slowing down. No, it looks like it's a proper race. I guess it's the back of Bruce Winfield anyway. Winfield leads them down the alley, but Lewis Kent is side by side in Cascade corner. Right round the outside goes Lewis Kent. The car gets sideways as he runs out wide, and Winfield surely will get the lead. Can Tonks go with him? Yes, he can. It's an area motorsport 1-2, and Tonks immediately challenges for the lead. It's side by side between the Cupras. Winfield on the inside of the hairpin, Tonks on the outside, and Lewis Kent will be kicking himself and desperate to get back into this.
Ah, well, he's out of it now because Tonks has got super traction. Tonks now on the outside of his teammate Bruce Winfield. Winfield looks like he's struggling with straight line speed as they head down side by side into Knickerbrook. Oh, look at that, into the back. And that was Lewis Kent into the back of Winfield. And now it's, Wilmot's in there. Well, what's going on with Wilmot? And you've got Smiley's involved. Smith coming through. Wilmot in the middle of the pack. But look, the new leader is up the road.
I said something had to give, and I think it just gave. That is Jamie Tonks from third to first in the space of 3 corners. Winfield somehow is still second, but it is all changed behind. Andy Wilmot got mugged by Chris Smiley at Knickerbrook corner, so Smiley moves through into fourth behind Lewis Kent. Wilmot down to fifth, and that critically puts a car now between Smiley and Smith for the first time all race on that car.
It looks like in the background, Smith trying to stick one on Brad Hutchinson having a move put on him as well. This is getting very, very close, and I've got to say, I hope it stays like this because I've not seen anything that would offend me as a driver at the minute. This is proper tit-top stuff.
Now, Lewis Kent and Chris Smiley absolutely fighting for the championship lead here, remember, with Isaac Smith as well closing in, so this is a really important battle. Chris Smiley is up into fourth, he's on the tail of the Veloster, which clearly is not operating well here today, and Isaac Smith's in the door of Andy Wilmot. Wilmot, in fairness, left that door wide open, but hangs on to the place as they come off the hairpin. But yeah, Chris Smiley versus Lewis Kent. This is one of those moments now, Paul, which could be championship defining. If Lewis Kent can fend off Chris Smiley for 9 minutes here, that could be something that proves to be really important come Snetterton at the end of the year.
The one thing that will keep him in front of Chris Smiley is this corner coming up. Druids corner. That car looks absolutely rapid. It's on its toes. It doesn't need much braking. It just gets braked, down a gear, sent in, and it's driven through the corner. The last corner is okay as well. The only problem that car looks like it has got now, I've seen it against Smiley, is the fact it just cannot brake as late as everyone else. That Honda drives up to the back of it on the brakes.
Back in Jamie Tonks slightly. Lewis Kent third, Smiley Lewis some dust through the air there, and Smiley quick through on board.
Lewis is in trouble here. Lewis is in big trouble. Smiley's all over him like a rash as they go down to the hairpin. Look at that. He can't get the car turned in. It's not great on the brakes. Smiley has got to go for a move now, and Lewis will defend all the way down this straight. Look, he knows he's going to try and get down the inside.
Oh, Isaac Smith up the inside of Andy Wilmot. That was a bold move and clean.
What a move. Proper move. But look what's happened now. Shepherd, out of nowhere, is run onto the back of this, cruised up, and he wants a bit as well. This is a proper battle. Smiley smells blood.
Yeah, absolutely. Down into his lop chicane they go. Max Hart, by the way, no longer catching this group as quickly as he was, so I don't know whether he is going to be able to improve on the... well, he's actually now shown us 12th place, so Max Hart is in the pit lane. Max Hart's in the pit lane, as is Brad Kent and Jess Hawkins, but Max Hart is out of the car and out of the race. It's another non-finish for Max Hart, his second of the day. 0 points from Oulton Park for the championship leader. That is big.
Massive news, that is huge, huge news, and just something, he really didn't need this, and that is absolutely refreshing. That car does not look like he's firing on all cylinders. He is hanging on to that thing through it to stay from smiling. He's got everything out of it. Lines through the first corner, and Smiley just cruises up to the back of him, and that is where he's vulnerable. Isaac Smith, on the other hand, looks rocky. He'll dispose of both of them if they get a bit naughty. He's close. This could be it. This could be a big lunge. If he gets this right, he could be in the pouncies. Look at Smith.
Yeah, Chris Smiley knows it's coming though, doesn't he? Pulls to the inside, so Smith just sends it to the outside instead. Might even get both of them. He's super late on the brakes. Kent parks it on the apex. Can Isaac Smith drag level with Chris Smiley? Yes, he can. Wide line for the golf. Move of the day from Isaac Smith round the outside of Chris Smiley at the island hairpin to take fourth place away with Hart out of the race. This is for the championship lead now between Lewis Kent, Isaac Smith and Chris Smiley. That was proper stuff from Isaac Smith. Super impressed with that.
Take your hat off, because that was proper stuff. Smith now knows, with those flashing brake lights, he's got a bit of pad knock off. Let's see how this new car of Lewis Kent deals with the pressure of this Golf, because he still looks nervous. It's quick enough through this last bit, but that Golf, it's trusty. It's an old car, but it's on it, and this is where he's going to try and get him down here, because this car is not great on the brakes. He knows already it's going to have to be a shot into the next corner. He's so close now as they come out of the last corner. Into Cascade.
And we know Lewis is streaking in his first corner in particular. Lewis having to almost defensive on the way in. He just seems to stop accelerating almost, and Isaac Smith gets the run again. He's tapping the brakes, making sure the pedal's going to work when he gets down to Cascade for a 5 for 4 minutes. And Isaac Smith is there. He's right on the tail of Lewis Kent out of Cascades. Now, can he, for the third lap in a row, make a move into the island hairpin? He's made a move on the inside, he's made a move on the outside. This time, though, he's not quite close enough. Lewis Kent knew where to place the car, and for the time being, hangs on to third.
Yeah, look, though, he's covered him off straight away. Lewis is wounded. Something is not right. That car just is not great. Braking performance is not there for that car. But as they come down now into the Nickelbrook chicane, he's going to have to really think about what his next move is, because there's no way he's going to get close enough through Druids and then down into Lodge. But Lewis Kent is wringing the neck of that car.
Yes, he is indeed. Isaac Smith in the slipstream towards Druids Corner. Now, the Golf does seem to be able to stick with the Veloster through this part of the track a bit better than some of the other cars, so let's see whether Isaac can use that to his advantage. Adam Shepherd, by the way, has picked his way to 6th place now, ahead of Andy Wilmot, so Adam Shepherd continues to move forward, but still somehow the champion side not working well.
Yeah, just got to be pinpoint with this car. It seems like he doesn't want to turn in, but look, he starts now. Look, it's mid to apex. He's out the throttle. He doesn't want track limits. He's got so much understeer. Isaac Smith has to really think about this in that 1, 2, 3 goal. If he's too close, he's going to have to come out the throttle. Now he's got forward momentum, now he's making him defend. He's got to try and switch him back and shock him, because if he sticks you on the outside, Chris Smiley's going to think, I'll have a bit of that, and you're going to miss another place.
Oh, he might try around the outside again. No, he's got the traction, he's there. Isaac Smith is not going to do it again, surely. Yes, he has.
What?
Isaac Smith, 2 of the best moves we've seen in ages in TCR UK. Round the outside of the island hairpin, has gone into 3rd place, and Isaac Smith, well, it might not still be the first win in the championship, but he is proving you don't need to win to be a championship contender. When you're as classy a driver as that, consistency will do it.
That is unbelievable. Mid to exit of that Golf. I mean, the Golf is amazing with traction coming out that hairpin, but it just shows how bad Lewis Kent's car is coming out of that hairpin on a cleaner line.
Yeah, absolutely. That was remarkable. And now I think Isaac Smith will get away. He is 4 seconds or so behind the top 2. world if he can keep that Honda behind him.
Yeah, definitely, but I'm not too sure. The front tyre on that car was shot. Not great brakes, not brilliant traction, and Chris Smiley, remember, will have seen exactly what Isaac Smith's done, and that's what you take on board, but he's got Adam Shepherd to think about behind.
Oh, Lewis Kent outbraked himself slightly at the hairpin there, but actually, again, that wide line, you can sort of straighten up the steering a bit earlier and get on the throttle sooner and carry the speed over the hill, so Lewis gets away with it. You're absolutely spot on. Adam Shepherd having the run of form of his life here, closing right in, and Smiley almost into the back of Lewis Kent. It was Smiley's turn to get the braking wrong into Hislop's that time. Are they starting to run out of brakes, do you think?
Probably. Just everything's just starting to get hot. You know, that pedal will feel a bit longer. That'll mean that you'll brake earlier because you don't think it's going to stop. So there's all that going through. Your tyre pressures are through the roof. Isaac Smith's car looks so fast. It's still reeling off really quick lap times. He's still, you know, low 29s. He's as quick as the race leader, and it looks relentless.
And as we go through onto the 17th lap of the race, little statette for you here, Paul. This is the 1001st racing lap in TCR UK history. If we reach lap number 16 this time, in the last 5 years or so, and another milestone reached then by the TCR UK team here at Oulton Park. Lap number 17 then is begun, and it's all about this fight for fourth place. Lewis Kent, I reckon he might just have this now, you know.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like put his cards on the table, and Smiley doesn't seem to have the answers, does he? There's not long left, and the back end of the circuit for Lewis is a saviour.
It really is, isn't it? Lewis then through the Hislop chicane for the final time of asking. Did lead some of those laps earlier on, remember. Actually, he should have led enough laps now to move himself ahead of Dan Lloyd in the overall laps led category as well. So more records being broken by Lewis Kent in the championship. But it's not going to be a win today here at Oulton Park. Instead, it will be the area motorsport with fast star driver Jamie Tonks, his first season racing in TCR UK. He is finally going to do it. A race victory beckons here at Oulton Park, and a popular one at that. Jamie Tonks from both years lead. He can get the flag and win round of an eye of the TCR UK Championship. What a performance from Jamie Tonks. A really steady drive and a well-deserved race. He'll come home in second place. Isaac Smith, Chris Smiley is fourth. Hang on, Lewis Kent with a penalty, and Lewis Kent has been given, I think, a track limits penalty there because he's dropped down to 11th place, so that is major drama for Lewis Kent, and that is going to cost him even more championship points. Callum Newsham and Brad Hutchison also appear to have been given post-race track limits penalties. We weren't notified of that during the race, but yes, I can see on the timing screen that cars 1 and 17 have been given track limits penalties, and number 16 as well. Second time today that Callum Newsham has been given that penalty, and that again completely changes the championship perspective because Lewis Kent, having fought valiantly through, what a performance that was, what a significant racing result for the championship. Max Hart is going to score 0 points. Lewis Kent, it looked like he was going to score 27 for finishing in 4th place, but the penalty drops him down to 11th, so just 9 points go his way. Chris Smiley, of course, therefore inherits 4th position, so 27 points for him. And what does that mean then for the championship standings? Well, it means that Isaac Smith is now going to be 32 points clear of Max Hart in second, who is 7 ahead of Smiley in third, who is 5 ahead of Lewis Kent in 4th place. I'll have to do some maths whilst we're hearing from those drivers regarding the dropped scores, because that again is where things start to get a little bit more complicated. But of course, with Max now notching up his second non-finish, that's it. He's used up his 2 freebies, his 2 potential dropped scores, and now if he has any more non-finishes, it's really going to affect his championship hopes. And breathe, everyone. That was 25 minutes of very intense action and a race win for Jamie Tonks, and he becomes the 20th different race winner in TCR UK history. And yes, with TCR 63 in the category, and whereas they may be one of the oldest TCR cars that's sort of still regular racing TCR competition, but they're proving that they are still more than capable of winning races and running at the front. We've had Cooper's win a couple of times this year now, and Jamie Tonks adds his name to that list.